The following program has been rated GE by the Kenya Film Classification Board. It is therefore suitable for general family viewing.
Hello viewer, welcome to Chungu cha Jamii. I'm your host Eunice Mugo. Today on the show we are talking about grief. What is grief to you? How do you deal with grief? Is it a learning process or a burden? Please share your story with us, your question, your comments across all our social media networks. That's GBS TV Africa. Our SMS line is 21144. I'm not alone. I have guests with me to share their stories and the learning process on the grief issues. I will allow them to introduce themselves. Welcome, guests, starting with you.
Thank you, Eunice. So my name is Miss Gillian, and my profession is teaching.
Welcome on the show to you, madam.
Hi, my name is Grace Ndumo, and I'm a trainee here at GBS TV.
Welcome to the show, Grace. You're looking good. Abidi starts talking about grief.
Yeah.
So in the previous episode, we talked about the burdening part. So today, I would want us maybe to look at the learning process. What have you learned through this grieving time? You mourned your uncle and your grandma, more like the same time. For you, it's your brother and your mom. So what can you say are the things that you've learned that you can see now, despite this season of grieving or mourning? This is what I'm grateful for. This is what I've learned. Starting with you, Julian.
Thank you so much. I think throughout the whole grieving process, the one thing I learned is about lifestyle. How do we take care of ourselves? Mostly our eating habits. Because my grandma died due to her eating habits. Cardiac arrest, massive blockage with the heart due to too much fat. So I think how we take care of ourselves with how we eat, like we always have 3 meals in a day: breakfast, lunch, and supper. Then in between, what do we take? Those additive foods like junks, chips, the chips that we say, let me just take a bite, it won't harm. So I think through that, I learned that we should take care of how we eat so that we don't maybe reach to a certain level. We have such diseases like diabetes, pressure, and then now it leads to our death, cardiac arrest.
When you talk of that, even just to look it and bring it back a little bit, most of the lifestyle diseases, okay, what you're saying is so true. But yet again, if you find it in your family, high chances is, even if you try to avoid, you still succumb to it. What do you do about that? Since now you can't escape family and it being in your lineage.
I think one thing I learned is even if it's in the family, you as a person, what do you prioritize? Is it what you'll follow, what your family has been doing? Like, is eating junk? Maybe I know some families take junk like from morning till evening. That is their lifestyle. But you as yourself, you as a person, what do you prioritize? Is it what I'll be following as my family, or will I be taking a good eating healthy habit? So the first thing comes is discipline. Are you able to discipline yourself? Exercise, eating greens, avoiding too much fats, because I think most of our foods, they contain too much fats. So are you able to discipline yourself in that journey?
Are you saying we eat boiled food? Before we get into food, because now that one you're going in a very different direction, but
Indeed.
hey, I think with the current generation that we are in, a little sweet is not bad for us. To you, Grace, what would you say is your learning, the things that you've learned during the two grieving periods?
One I would say is I appreciated every moment that I got to spend with both my brother and my mom. that moment, when you go back and look at that moment, you're like, you really cherish. So in me, I have now learned, as like now a mother, that I should like cherish every moment that I have, especially with babies, so that now when they grow up, they will have those memories. Even if, even as they will become a time, maybe when we go. So when they grow up, they will like, at least we have a memory with our mother, you get. And for me, it was everything, like for my mom. I, 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 I now try to recall every like lesson she taught me, everything that she did. I now try to impart it on my family also, so that now, if it comes to an end and God says now, Grace, it's your time to come, at least nimeacha legacy, you get. So for me, I want to cherish every moment. I cherished every moment that I had. I know sometimes unaweza sema ati ilikuwa kidogo when we were with them, but kila kitu iko na mwanzo na iko na mwisho. So for me it was, yes, I accepted, but my learning process was cherishing every moment that I did spend with them till the end, that time.
Interesting, because now those ones are the things that are engraved in your mind and heart that cannot be erased.
Yes.
Maybe to take you back a little bit. I always hear when you're grieving that, God, if you could give me one more chance, what different would you do? Well, because for you, you were saying it came a time where you felt guilt, like you didn't do A, B, C, D.
Yeah.
If you're given that one more chance, what different would you do? And maybe you're given like 24 hours, a week or so, and then you're told, utilize this and do what you wanted to do. Then she goes, or stay with the memories and let's look at the scenario. Stay with the memories, cherish, that's what you have now, or be given a 24 hours or a 1 week back to you, and then God takes every memory that you had.
For me, I would say I'd rather have those memories. I'd rather choose the memories over the 1 week or whatever period that I'm given. Because those memories, I imagine unakaa, then mtu anakuuliza, what do you remember about your mother? And say your memories zimechukuliwa. So for me, I would prefer afadhali nibaki na hizo memories kuliko that one moment at your 1 week nini.
So that 1 week you're going.
Okay, yes, it will add, more memories, but I'd rather hii mingi yenye tumekuwa nayo afadhali hiyo kuliko hii kidogo tu. It's just for a moment, but those memories, I'd rather stick with them for the rest of my life.
And if you're to add on those memories, what special would you do or different?
I would like nikae na yeye, as in just kama kuna kitu yote enye ako nayo, whatever ile kitu yote enye imebaki ndani yake, I want her to impart on me. Animpatie nibaki bado ni add on top of whatever she had left, as in nini uko nayo. I want to know what.
But don't you think that is being selfish? From this perspective, you want her. Is it because she's going again that you want her to impart everything that is left of her to you? Why do you want her back in the first place? Is it for the impartation or something else? What was the guilt all about?
The guilt, for me, like I said, I felt guilty because, yes, we were praying at that moment for her healing. Though, like, for me, I know it was a miracle. Like, for my process, it was a miracle that I was alive. Because when, like I said, when she was giving birth to me, daktari waliniambia huyu ameenda, nimpatia kwake, akaniambia just say your last words. But my mom was like, mimi mtoto nilikuwa nimemwambia even before I got married, I had prayed for this baby, so hakuna kitu mnaniambia mimi. So the doctor left. Nurses wamempea mtoto, wamwambia wewe say your last words and uende. Then sasa amebaki na mimi, amenishika. Akasema Mungu, huyu mtoto nilikuwa nimemwombea. So the prayer she prayed, my dad said they were very dangerous prayers, enough to bring you back. So you see, for me it was guilty, as in, as we are praying, ameenda. As in, for me it was like, Mungu huwezi fanya vile, whatever, hizo maombi tu nilikuwa naomba, reverse role. Hata yeye, as in, wewe ni Mungu, unaponya. This is nothing to you. Cancer, inasikiza nini, ukisema ishe itaisha. So for me it was a guilty, that's why I'm saying it was a guilty process for me at that moment. So it's like, if something could have happened and God would have done a miracle, then that for me would have been, would have been amazing for me.
How do you pray? Do you pray and finish and say, nevertheless, not my will, but your will
be done?
If that was his will, then why are you guilty?
When now, you see, she, like,
or you don't pray like that?
Yeah? No, okay. You just, like I say, you are holding on to the last hope that something, a miracle might happen, But like I say, you are just hoping that something will be different, but it happened the way it did. Yes, okay, there's nothing you can do at that moment. You get, imefanyika, that was God's plan. So now, you have to now accept, okay, it is your will, God. But now you're like, kuna ile unaenda nyuma, but you're like, okay, it's all right. Wacha iendelee tu vile iko.
I like that prayer of, not my will, but your will. But that will ikikuja when it's a bitter pill, it's very hard to swallow it. And you're like, I prayed for it, but again, I didn't mean this. This is what I meant. Yeah. And for you, being the strongest person, what would you say? Would you rather continue being the strongest person, or would you wish to be given that space and just be yourself and also maybe cry out your heart? I wouldn't say through all the tantrums, because there is no tantrums in mourning, but rather that space of mourning. When you're talking to psychologists, they say if you do not mourn properly, it will torment you and derail you, even health-wise. Because any time that you sit back and reflect or think of the departed people, you'll start like, I don't know what you are arising. I can't remember the correct words that they do use. How is it for you?
I think for me, okay, I agree with what the psychologists say, because I've seen it happen. But being the strongest person, I've learned to undergo through a lot, through hard times. So I think I've already mourned myself. I already mourned. And the thing that kept me going is the moments, the memories, everything that we shared. That is what keeps me going. I'm like, wherever she is, she wouldn't want me to still mourn her. She would want me to keep on living the legacy through her cooking, that is, since she was the best chef. So I'm really glad that I still had to be the strongest person. And even though I didn't mourn the way others did, by all the tantrums and all that, I think I'm really grateful for everything that I shared with her while she was still on earth. Yes.
So being strong is you. Every time I fear ladies. Because anytime a lady tells you, I have to be stronger for my people, for my family, this person is building a defense mechanism around her. Is that what you did? Or is that what you do? Because when you say you go through the tough times and the memories is what keeps you going, then that tells me that you've built that wall around you, like you're Superwoman. No one should dare crush you,
Oh,
or nothing should dare crush you.
yes. I think that's how I survived through all my hardest times. Plus, there's one thing that if it's not with, let me just say, it's God. If it's not God, I don't think I'll be this strong because all the time I had to pray, despite the fact that I'm still the strongest person. I had to put God first because we always say, "May God's will be done." Yes, so I just had to seek for Him, like, Lord, please, I can't make it. Just guide me. So I think that's how I survive.
I think the unique part of all this is just bringing you back closer to God. Because,
Yes.
again, we cannot do it without Him.
Indeed.
Wow, interesting. So, the stages that you mentioned of grieving, how are they for you? Because you missed some and you accomplished some. Share them, the ones that you missed and the ones that you accomplished.
As I can go back through the 5 stages, I'm not sure if I'll get the order correctly. Are denial, anger, bargaining. Then I think there's one I've missed, and then acceptance is the last stage. Uh, through denial, I denied at first. I still remember going back to KU mortuary. Through the whole process, if you go to the mortuary, there's so much process. You need to have papers, you need to have the police abstract. There's so much. So before she was admitted, and I asked my uncle, who is grandma? And he told me he couldn't talk, he just pointed. And I just sat next to the van and I was like, I really can't believe it. Like, I don't know, until I see the body and everything. I saw it. I was still in denial. I was like, no way. Then I think I became angry at myself since why didn't I do the birthday before she actually went to my auntie's. That day she died, she was going to my auntie's to see her new plot. So with the happiness overwhelmed, I think that's how she passed. So I was still angry, like, I would have done it. I would have just given another one phone call and tell her, Grandma, see, today we have the birthday. I was like, okay. And then I started bargaining. I don't think I did that well. I think I think where I was angry, then I had to become now the strongest person. I think that's when I skipped like all those stages. And then now through the day of the burial is when it actually dawned on me she's gone. Like, she's no more. I won't ever see her smile. I won't ever hear her, except for the memories in my head. So I just had to accept. So I think I skipped like two stages, if I'm not wrong. But eventually, I think I'm making it, thanks to God.
Okay. And to bring you with your uncle
Yes.
and you burying him on the same day as your grandma,
Yes.
how did his family,
Mhm.
take it? Like your cousins, your auntie, given that they knew that their dad has come to Kenya to mourn the mother, but yet again, you're expecting him to come back, and now you're being told he's not coming back, and now you are the one to travel now to come and bury him. That is what I want you to answer when you come back after the break. Viewer, I hope you're learning as much as I am. Send in your question, your comments across all our social media networks. That's GBS TV Africa. Our SMS line is 2114. We'll be back shortly.